Hi, I'm Jeff Zucker, the new president of CNN. We've taken some heat lately about the quality of our news reporting, but I'm here to tell you personally, I'm on top of it.
Jeff, I overheard at the elevator, Libyans are Egyptians and Egyptians are actually robots.
Run with that.
Run with that.
During my 10-year stint as the head of NBC, I oversaw such projects as the Friends spin-off Joey and the transition of Conan O'Brien to host of The Tonight Show. So I think we can agree, CNN is in pretty good hands. Isn't that right, John King?
Jeff, I'm getting unconfirmed reports that the president is a member of the Lollipop Guild.
What does your heart tell you?
Flibbity flobbity flu?
Get to the studio, interrupt whatever's going on, and just start talking.
Flibbity.
Has CNN made some mistakes? Sure, but we all have. Take me, for instance. I took a cash cow ratings champion and turned it into a fifth-place albatross that General Electric dropped like a hot rock. So I know something about bouncing back and failing up. Oh my God, what's your source on this?
Twitter, Flava Flav.
Get it up.
Yes. Looks like Romney won the April midterm elections.
Your trusted source in news. This is NBC.
CNN.
CNN. This is CNN.
of A with Brian Sack.
Good evening and welcome to the BS of A. I'm your host, Brian Sack. This week we learned that formerly living Boston bombing suspect Tamerlan Tsarnaev had been interviewed by the FBI in 2011, yet slipped through the cracks. Joining me to discuss, Douglas Platt of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Hello.
Hello. It was revealed this week that the FBI had interviewed and then cleared many other men, not just Tamerlan, who would go on to commit or promote acts of terror, including the Fort Hood shooter, Anwar al-Awlaki, and several other guys. Yeah. So my question is this: how does this happen?
Well, Brian, you know, at the time you're speaking to these guys, it's very hard to predict their future acts.
Okay, but in the case of the Boston Marathon bombing, the Russians were telling us, look at this guy, check him out, we think he's dangerous, and the FBI did, and they came back and said, no, he presents no threat.
Yeah, Brian, well, that decision was based on questioning the individual. What we do is we evaluate his answers, we work up like a profile, and then we spin the wheel of fate, and then between all...
Wait, I'm sorry, you what? What's the last one?
Oh, the wheel of fate. Here, I brought an example of, this is a wheel of fate. Yeah, after we've completed our investigation, we spin the wheel of fate, like, to see what we'll do. Oh, almost. See, like,
so,
I hate those.
So you leave it up to chance, is what you do?
Well, we leave it to fate.
Okay, but most of that wheel says ignore.
Yeah, and then that's what we do.
Okay, but what if a suspect is highly suspicious?
Well, then those are the worst ones. That's really frustrating. You know, you ask them if they're going to commit a terrorist act, and they say no. And then you, as an FBI agent, you say, well, thank you for your honesty. Here, your detonator's back. Have a wonderful day.
So they lie.
To an FBI agent. It's classic terrorist. But obviously, if you're certain that a suspect is dangerous, then you hope the wheel of fate comes through.
So what kind of information did you have on Tamerlan Tsarnaev?
Well, here, I'll show you. Here's what we concluded. These are the notes. Angry Islamist psychopath. Determined to strike the United States. Check. Let's see. Kept shouting, "I will destroy America," as he was being interviewed. Prophetic. Was visibly assembling a bomb during the interview. We should have. Okay, so
those sound like red flags to me. Don't they sound like red flags?
Big red flags, especially the bomb.
Okay, but you didn't take action.
Well, you know, as fate would have it, no, we did not. But fate should have known better, actually, because Tsarnaev actually was here on a TA-1 visa.
What is a TA-1 visa?
TA-1 visa is for people who come to the United States to commit a terrorist act.
Wait, so they issue visas for people who are coming to the U.S. to commit terrorist acts?
There should not be. I know. It sounds crazy, but the immigration people, they have their own whole set of procedures, and they have their own wheel of fate.
We'll be right back.
So, I don't know if you can tell, but that's an even smaller slice.
A ABCs. 1 plus 1. Learning's great. Learning's fun. Fun. Great times and diversity. We're all the same, you and me. Yay! Feeling good. Having fun. Everybody's number one. Eating vegan. Living green. We don't keep score, that would be mean. Pumpernickel Boulevard. Pumpernickel Boulevard. Pumpernickel Boulevard. Pumpernickel Boulevard.
Corporations, no. Freedom, yes. Corporations, no.
Hey, guys.
Freedom, yes.
Hoodie, what are you doing?
I'm saving America, Brian, from giant corporations.
Yeah.
Seriously? I spent $7 on that.
Yeah, that's $7 more for that greedy corporate behemoth to add to its coffers.
And pay its employees and shareholders with.
Yeah.
They're taking over the world.
And putting all the mom and pop coffee shops out of business.
What are you talking about?
Little coffee shops don't have a chance against the venture Goliath, Brian.
Yeah, they just stomp on the little guys. Small business killers. Small business killers.
No.
Small business killers.
Oh, you're wrong.
What?
You're wrong. Look, I'm feeling inspired. I think I'm going to deliver an impassioned monologue.
Please don't, Daddy.
Sorry, son. You know you're dead by now. Listen, Starbucks didn't put mom and pop coffee shops out of business. It put them in business. 20 years ago, Americans didn't know squat about coffee.
Daddy, I'm hungry.
Not now. Coffee was a foul black liquid you added lots of cream and sugar to so that it tasted just slightly drinkable. It was like demon pee. We were naive, uncultured, we were Philistines.
Oh, free Philistine!
Yeah.
Yeah!
And Starbucks came on the scene and they said, hey, America, coffee can actually taste pretty good. And they introduced us to espresso and cappuccino and mocha and good coffee for the first time in our lives.
I'm sorry, Brian. You gotta wrap it up, man. My arm is killing me.
Please stay in character. 1 second. And as more and more people tried coffee that wasn't crap, some people said, behold, all this time we've been drinking jet fuel and Sanka, and nobody knew just how good coffee could be.
Now I'm all grown up, Daddy. I lost my entire childhood during your damn speech.
Look, interrupt me again, and I will not pay for college. So we shouldn't condemn Starbucks. We should fall on our knees and thank them for opening up America's palate and introducing us to better things. Don't punish them for building a business from nothing into something amazing. That's the spirit of this country. That is the spirit of America.
I suppose you're right, Brian. It's not a crime to be successful. Let's lose the signs, guys.
Okay.
There you go, guys.
But it should be a crime to peddle drinkable psychoactive stimulants.
Yeah!
And caffeine abuse!
Yeah! Just say no to a cup of Joe!
Yeah!
Just say no to a cup of Joe!
Pumpernickel Boulevard.
Welcome back. I'm joined today by 3 experts to discuss the issues of the day that are of interest to me. My first guest is a radio host, author, and founder of the website Infowars.com. Please welcome Alex Jones.
You are not watching The Blaze. That is not Brian Sack.
It is The Blaze, and I'm me. My next guest is the host of a popular show on MSNBC. Please welcome Rachel Maddow.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for having me on here. And I'm so glad that you finally opened up your doors to a different point of view on the show.
Well, we've had a lot of different people on the show. We're happy to have you here.
I've heard that this show is very close-minded, and it's really wonderful for you to have opened up your doors so that maybe we can learn something today.
Okay, I mean, I like to think we're open to all sorts of different points of view.
Well, I think you just learned something right there.
That we're not, in your world.
Exactly.
Okay. And my last guest and I have shared a bed together for over a decade. No, it's not Greta Van Susteren. Please welcome my cat, Omar. Meow.
I don't like to be out of the house, Brian.
I know you don't like to be out of the house, but you're doing me a favor. Please don't be vengeful. Don't. Omar, come on, Omar. Omar. It's cool. You'll get snack treats. All right, listen, let's talk about Max Baucus. He's announced he's retiring from Congress after, 47 plus years serving the people, as we call it, which makes me think about maybe we should have term limits. Well, you know, we've got these people in Congress for 40, 50 years. The top 25 have been in from anywhere from 45 years up to 57. I think it was Robert Byrd. Term limits. Do you think there should be term limits?
It's unnecessary. Max Baucus was hired several months ago. He was an extra on Yes Dear. He was placed there, obviously, by Kuwaiti businessmen who wanted to control our government. And so he just answers. He has the microphone in his ear. He drinks Mountain Dew, which, as we all know, the taste of Mountain Dew is the taste of millions of tiny microphones. So obviously, like, they can record what goes on in his body, in the House, in the Senate. They're in the Capitol building. Listening in.
Okay, let me ask you, first of all, you make these allegations. Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Of course. Go to prisonplanet.com. It's $45 a day.
Alex.
Omar's got
to.
You're not here. I'm answering his questions.
But could I
can't answer questions.
I'm a cat.
Right.
But I'm going to say maybe you made a mistake in sitting Alex Jones and Rachel Maddow next to each other.
You know.
Okay, yeah, you're a cat. You're a lawyer. I'm the spiritual descendant of Paul Revere. Okay, we can all wear those hats. What is that tender touch? You can't make me feel. Okay, you can't use affection to open my heart. Okay,
Alex.
What?
Look in my eyes.
I don't want to. I
never
fear human
wanted
connection.
a man until right now.
Right now?
Alex
Jones?
Yes. There's something about his.
Oh, God.
Oh, well.
Omar. Bad kitty. All right. Term limits.
Of course, there should be term limits. I think you should have 3 months, and by that time, anyone in the Capitol building has been completely tapped out in terms of being wired from head to toe, be it hair products, be it shaving cream.
This is laughable.
It sounds like a schizophrenic ranting and walking down the street.
You sound like the teams of psychiatric professionals who've been trying to have me locked up in 6 states. You sound like the people who throw me out of Cracker Barrels. I don't shout. I'm not shouting.
Right.
Okay, this is a normal tone of voice, and everyone's whispering to make me sound insane.
Interesting. Rachel?
I have spent a lot of time studying layman's physics, as well as law, science, mathematics, English, poetry of the genderless in the Middle Ages. So I have a number of different fields of study. But as far as term limits, what I would like to put across to you, what if we were to allow the idea for people to serve a limited amount of time in the Senate, and at the end of that time, that conclusion would then bring about a conclusion to their service in which they would no longer now be involved in the Senate, and they would have to leave. But I don't want to say I believe in term limits as per se, as such is the statement of what I'm saying.
So you took what might be 12 to 15,000 words to say term limits, maybe.
This is insane, but this is the kind of talk
I
you
kind
get
of expected
when you
that.
have a person bought and paid for by the people at Perkins Family Restaurant on your show in their pocket, and then all of a sudden now we got to turn.
Omar, come on.
This is not the first time I've been attacked by a cat or a process server.
Alex, let me ask you a question.
Okay,
you
here
really
it comes.
do believe believe that there is a shadow planet, a second Earth that is rotating exactly in the opposite direction around the sun?
And we are on that planet. Obviously,
you think we're on a different planet than the planet
physics
Earth?
of this planet do not work the same as Earth is told in the Bible.
Physics work the same everywhere. That's the theory of relativity.
Thank you, Brian. Finally, we agree on
There's a reference to something clever, right?
The opinion of
This week's under-the-table sponsor is an over-the-table sponsor.
Omar, don't read my
Instead of
prompter.
getting a small
Omar.
sum of cash that we keep from the company in exchange
the veil
for
is
producing
lifted.
a commercial that the sponsor has no creative control. This week's sponsor will let us keep our jobs. Glenn Beck's new book, Control, Exposing the Truth About Guns, says gun control isn't really about controlling guns at all. It's about controlling us. Brian hasn't read it yet because when he sees books, it reminds me that he's still 50,000 words away from finishing his book. Control, Exposing the Truth About Guns is available now. We'll be right back. Can we go home for my nap now?
Yes, that's fine. Let's go.
This asteroid, which we've named 90847 Bixby, is on track to strike the very center of the United States in 2018, a catastrophic event. That is why Congress must act now.
An asteroid, huh? Typical excuse for the big government to spend money. I mean, come on, right? Right?
We must have a balanced approach to destroying this asteroid, which is why the president is proposing raising the income tax on the wealthiest Americans.
Well, if there were an asteroid, it's not because of fracking.
This is a false flag operation by the CIA, NSA, NBC, and the Shadow Pope.
Just so you know, it's a lot closer now.
This Destroy the Asteroid Act of 2015 authorizes NASA and the military to destroy the asteroid. I urge House Republicans to sign it before recess.
Without corresponding spending cuts, we have no choice but to oppose the Destroy the Asteroid Act.
Unbelievable. The GOP hates America.
Let me be clear. We oppose the Destroy the Asteroid Act, but not the act of destroying the asteroid. It's just that the Democrats tacked on a $2 trillion wind farm subsidy.
Today, my colleague and I are proud to announce that we are making tremendous progress on the bipartisan Uniting to Save America by Stopping the Asteroid from Exploding Act, which finally authorizes NASA and the military to destroy this asteroid. All right?
Language stuck into this bipartisan monstrosity allows the federal government to seize your property and your pets.
It's really close now.
Day 37 of Rand Paul's filibuster rages on as he refuses to allow the asteroid bill to be voted upon until he gets answers about Benghazi.
My bill does everything the House bill does. Plus, it allows President Trump to target American citizens in the war on asteroids.
See, that's not a good thing.
Space rocks is God's way of punishing people for tolerance. Space rocks is God's way.
The House and Senate have agreed to a grand compromise we think will make everyone happy.
I thought we were calling this the Great Understanding.
You son of a bitch.
No, not again. No.
Forget it.
I'm gonna go get drunk.
I have your son's test results here, and it's very hard for me to tell this to a parent, but your son has tested positive for liberal.
What?
No!
Doctor, are you absolutely sure?
I'm afraid so. We tested his blood, and there are white blood cells where deserving red blood cells need to be. I mean, it's classic blood affirmative action.
Doctor, how could this happen?
It's my fault. It's my fault. I listened to Air America once, just once when I was pregnant.
You did what?
I thought it was a college radio program. I thought it was a joke.
Cheryl, how could you be so stupid?
This is why he's so smug, isn't it?
No. It's not your fault.
It's America's fault.
Oh, great. Now we're going to catch it. This is a full-blown case, Doctor.
Don't bother, Mr. West. Your son is incapable of feeling or understanding personal responsibility. He has a genetic flaw.
Genetic flaw? How dare you?
No. Doctor, what do we do?
Easy. Just take one of these and call me in the morning.
Control, Exposing the Truth About Guns by Glenn and Beck.
Wait a minute, Doctor. All those books by celebrities. They don't actually write the books themselves. They pay kids in China like 4 cents an hour to do it.
Not Glenn Beck. He uses American children and pays them slightly more.
We'll do it. We'll take it. We'll do anything.
Now, that's going to be $485.
All right, fair enough.
Whoa, the government should pay for that.
You shut your mouth!
When I said take one of these, I meant read it.
Oh, well, I ate it. And that's my fault.
Doctor!
Yes, even just swallowing the book whole is beginning to cure him.
Huh. Well, I love the book, Doc. So much so that I bought copies for all my friends.
And I bought it for all my liberal friends to either fix them or torture them.
Well, that's what we call a win-win in the medical business.
So tell me, will the acid in his stomach eventually digest that book?
A Glenn Beck book is indestructible because it's infused with the truth.
So.
Also, he'll die of an infection long before that happens. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go tend to a death panel.
Typical.
Control, Exposing the Truth About Guns. Buy it, read it, don't eat it.
And we are back with Alex Jones, Rachel Maddow, and my cat, Omar. All right, let's talk about what happened after the Boston Marathon bombings. There was a lot of confusion, and apparently people misunderstood Chechnya to be the Czech Republic. First of all, do you know the difference between Chechnya and the Czech Republic?
Of course I do, Brian. And I feel like I'm the only one out there drawing these distinctions. You're falling into the exact trap they want you to fall into, which is you take these attacks, which were, they pin it on Chechnyans, when obviously it was carried out by Dennis Leary and his whole cohort.
Dennis Leary, the comedian?
Of course. The
Boston
famous
comedian.
Boston-based comedian.
You think he was behind them?
Of course. What better way to get the last laugh, if you will?
How was that funny?
It's not funny anymore. I've never found Dennis Leary funny. He has those albums, but you fall into the Chechnya trap, and then everybody else whose name begins with C, the Czech Republic, they're all off the hook. Canada caused the San Francisco earthquake. Chad, a nation in Africa.
Right.
Okay, yeah, they're the reason Friends is no longer on the air. Listen,
I'm sorry, Chad?
Yeah,
the nation of Chad is why Friends is no longer on the air.
Right, of course.
Do you have any evidence to back up that allegation?
Must-See TV was a wholly owned subsidiary of a consortium of African
All right,
nations.
let's just give Rachel a chance to rebut this.
What are you smoking?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my question. Is what are we talking
Omar.
about here? We are talking about a major nation. The Czech Republic. The Czech
Omar.
Republic.
I'm sorry, he's mischievous.
I deal with a lot of cats. Anyway, and it is part of the dumbing down of America, part of the problem with our educational system, Brian, that we are constantly confusing things. The other day, I looked on your website, and I saw that you had reported, and I think erroneously, the idea that we should bomb the Czech Republic immediately with nuclear weapons.
Yes.
That's sort of allegation, Alex. That's sort of the mantle in which you're speaking from is such a powerful, such a powerful man.
Thank you. We need to go full nuclear against. And if you respond to that in an emotional way, then I've done my job.
All right, Omar's got a
think I'm
hairball. I'm
attracted
sorry.
Well, good. It's mutual. It's mutual, and I'm more of an angry person than a lover. But you have a very composed way about you.
You're the
very
only man I've ever been attracted to.
Okay, wait.
You're the only woman I've ever been attracted to.
This is strange. Did that actually just happen? I was distracted with the cat puking.
It's hard to say what happened.
Brian, I don't know what happened. But what I do know is that we need to educate our children on our national borders.
Okay, fair enough. Omar, do you have anything to weigh in on the difference between Chechnya and
Brian, I'm a cat. I shit in a box and you scoop it out.
Fair enough. It's true. And I actually don't scoop it out because it's the
Automatic, and it's scary. Do you know what it feels like if you're going to the bathroom and that machine kicks in?
I know, it is terrifying. All right, well, that's weird. Rachel Maddow and Alex Jones are in love. You know what? This is a good time to probably just pull the plug on this. That's all the time we have for this week's BS of A. Please stay tuned for a brand new episode of The Wonderful World of Stu. Oh my God, like us on Facebook, love us on Twitter, and share our videos on YouTube. I'm your host, Brian Sack, and if you've ever wanted to manage a large city, I urge you to run for mayor of New York because the current crop of candidates, not very promising. I'm glad we found a love connection here. Good night, America.
I'll be in my kitty carrier.
This is NBC.